Let me ask you something, and I want you to be honest with yourself. If someone told you right now that a 10-year delay in your life was going to cost you over $500,000, would you believe them? Most people wouldn't. Most people would say, okay, but I have time. I'll start next year, when I pay off this debt, when the kids are older, when things settle down a little. And that right there, that one sentence, is the most expensive thing most people will ever say in their entire lives. Today we are going to talk about two people, same income, same intelligence, same opportunities. The only difference between them is 10 years, and by the time they both hit 65, one of them is sitting on a number that will make your jaw drop, and the other one is still working. Not because one was smarter, not because one got lucky, simply because one started. So if you have ever told yourself you will start investing later, this video is going to be the most uncomfortable thing you watch today, and I genuinely hope it is. Let me introduce you to Marcus and James, both 35 years old right now, both earning $60,000 a year, both reasonably smart with money. Neither of them rich, neither of them broke, solidly middle class. Comfortable enough to feel okay, not quite uncomfortable enough to make a move. Here is where they are different. Marcus started investing $1,000 a month when he was 25. He is now 35 and has been doing it for 10 years without stopping. James is just getting started today at 35. He looked at his finances, decided he was ready, and is now putting in the same $1,000 a month going forward. Same amount, same consistency, same discipline. The only variable is 10 years. Now here is the question nobody asks out loud because the answer is too uncomfortable. How much does that 10-year head start actually matter at 65? Sit with that question for a second, because the answer is about to reframe everything you think you know about time and money. At an average market return of 7% annually, which is the conservative long-term average of the S&P 500 adjusted for inflation, Marcus, who started at 25, will have approximately $2.4 million by age 65. $2.4 million. James, who started at 35 with the exact same $1,000 a month, the exact same discipline, the exact same market returns, will have approximately $1.2 million by age 65. Let that sit. Same money, same effort, same market, $1,200,000 difference. That gap, that single number, represents 10 years of waiting, 10 years of saying not yet, 10 years of I'll start when things calm down, $1,200,000. That is not a rounding error. That is not a small difference. That is an entirely different life at 65. That is the difference between retiring comfortably and working until your body tells you to stop. And here is the part that makes it even more brutal. Marcus only invested $120,000 more than James in total contributions over those extra 10 years. $1,000 a month for 12 months for 10 years. $120,000 extra dollars invested. But the gap at 65 is $1.2 million. He turned $120,000 into $1,200,000 worth of difference. That is the power of compound interest, and that is why Albert Einstein allegedly called it the eighth wonder of the world. The people who understand it earn it. The people who don't pay it. Now, I need to stop here because I know exactly what some of you are thinking right now. You're thinking, okay, but I am already past 25. Maybe you're 28, 32, 37, 42, and you're doing the math in your head and it is making you feel sick. Good. Not because I want you to feel bad, but because that feeling, that sick, uncomfortable feeling in your stomach right now, that is the feeling that changes lives. Comfort never changed anyone. Discomfort changes everything. Because here is the truth about compound interest that most people miss completely. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is right now. Today, not next month, not after the holiday, not when you finish paying off the car. Today. Because here is something the numbers actually show. If you are 35 right now and you start today, you still end up with $1.2 million at 65. That is not a consolation prize. That is generational wealth for most families in this country. The tragedy is not starting at 35. The tragedy is being 45 and still saying not yet. So let me ask you the harder question. Why haven't you started? And I don't mean that rhetorically. I mean, what is the actual reason? Because in my experience, there are really only 4 answers to that question, and every single one of them is costing you more than you realize. The first reason is debt. You have student loans, credit card debt, a car payment, and starting to invest feels irresponsible when you owe money. I understand that logic. It feels responsible. It feels mature even. But here is the uncomfortable truth. If your debt interest rate is lower than 7%, mathematically you are better off investing while making minimum payments on the debt. You are losing money by waiting. The second reason is lifestyle. You earn decent money, but somehow it all disappears by the end of the month. You are not buying yachts. You are just living. Groceries, rent, streaming subscriptions, eating out a few times a week, a gym membership you use sometimes, nothing extravagant, but there is nothing left over either. This is lifestyle creep, and it is the silent killer of wealth building. Every dollar that disappears into convenience today is compounding for someone else, not for you. The third reason is fear. The market crashes. You have seen it happen. 2008 happened, 2020 happened, people lost everything, or so the story goes. And putting $1,000 a month into something that can drop 30% in a week feels terrifying. But here is what the fear forgets. The market has recovered from every single crash in history. Everyone. The people who lost everything in 2008 were the people who panicked and sold. The people who stayed in, or better yet kept buying during the crash, came out significantly ahead. The fourth reason is simply that nobody taught you. Your parents didn't invest. Your school didn't teach this. Your friends don't talk about it. And starting something you don't fully understand with real money feels dangerous. That one I have the most empathy for. Because it is not laziness. It is not irresponsibility. It is just a gap in knowledge that nobody filled for you. And that gap is exactly why you are watching this video right now. So let me fill it. Here is the simplest version of how compound interest works. You invest $1,000. It grows by 7% in year 1. Now you have $1,070. In year 2, that $1,070 grows by 7%. Not just your original $1,000, the whole thing. So now you have $1,144. The year after that, $1,224 grows by 7%. You see what is happening? You are earning returns on your returns. The snowball is rolling down the hill and picking up more snow with every rotation. In the early years, it feels slow, almost pointless. $1,000 becoming $1,070 is not exciting. But at year 20, that same $1,000 has become $3,869. At year 30, it is $7,612. At year 40, it is $14,974. You did not add a single dollar after year 1. The money just kept working. Now multiply that across $1,000 every single month for 40 years, and you start to understand where that $2.4 million comes from. It is not magic. It is not luck. It is just time doing its job while most people are busy spending theirs. Now here is your action plan. Not next week, this week. Step 1. Open an investment account today. If you are in the US, a Roth IRA is the single best starting point for most people. Contributions grow tax-free. You pay no tax on the gains when you withdraw in retirement. It takes about 15 minutes to open one online through Fidelity or Vanguard or Schwab. Step 2. Set up an automatic monthly contribution, even if it is not $1,000, even if it is $200 or $300 or $500. Automation is the secret weapon because it removes the decision from your hands. The money moves before you can talk yourself out of it. Step 3. Put it in a simple index fund, not individual stocks, not crypto, not your cousin's business idea. A simple S&P 500 index fund that tracks the broad market. Low fees, historically proven, boring in the best possible way. Step 4. Leave it alone. This is the hardest step and the most important one. Do not check it every day. Do not panic when it drops. Do not celebrate when it spikes and move it somewhere else. Just leave it alone and let time do what time does. That is it. 4 steps, 15 minutes of setup, decades of compounding. Marcus did not do anything extraordinary. He did not have a special advantage. He did not pick the right stock or time the market perfectly. He just started 10 years earlier than James and never stopped. And at 65, when both men are looking at their accounts, Marcus is not just ahead. Marcus is in a completely different category of life. Different options, different freedom, different relationship with work, with stress, with his family, with his time. James is okay. $1.2 million is genuinely life-changing money for most people, but James spent 30 years doing exactly the same thing as Marcus and ended up with half the result. The only thing Marcus did differently was decide to start. So here is my question to you, and I want you to sit with it seriously. What is your 10-year delay going to cost you? Not what will you gain by starting, what will you lose by waiting? Calculate that number, write it down, let it make you uncomfortable, and then open that account. Because the best investment you will ever make is not a stock pick or a real estate deal or a business opportunity. The best investment you will ever make is the decision to start today instead of tomorrow. The gap is violent, and it starts closing the moment you decide to stop waiting.